here for our first client meeting with our MetPlus client. Our MetPlus client is here. His name is Chet. We are going to try to go through some topics in this first meeting. We are going first to have a smaller presentation of what MetPlus is. Then we are going to step on and go to a more detailed explanation of what PET's system is. After that, we'll have a little moment for questions about the product itself, if there are things that we need a little bit more enlightenment on. After that, we will talk a little bit about the architecture of the software that we will be building. And after that, we'll have some questions, a moment for questions on this architecture and the choices. And basically, that will be it. So, Chet, welcome. I'll pass it up to you so you can start your presentation. Okay.
All right. Let me get to the screen share. Good morning, everyone. Okay. The company name is MetPlus, Michigan Employment and Training Plus, a nonprofit organization, 501c3. The software is PETS, the Public Employment Tracking System. MetPlus introduction. Michigan Employment and Training Plus is a vocational nonprofit organization that strives to assist Michigan job seekers and employers with free and valuable training and development. Kind of a brief overview of the service we are providing to job seekers and employers. Job seekers will provide vocational training. Vocational training can go from anywhere from software engineering to TV production to construction, robotics, chemistry, things of that nature. Workforce readiness, so we want to prepare the job seekers for the employment, because it's easy to find someone a job, but it's hard to get them mentally ready. You can't just throw somebody into a job. Okay, so workforce assessment, we have to basically see where their head is at, see what their skills are before we place them. We can't just place them into anything. We also do job development, job placement, resume and CV workshops, curriculum vitae. That's usually you're applying for employment abroad. Workforce certifications, career counseling, human services. Also provide those services to job seekers and to the employers. Applicant pre-screening, applicant tracking, employer development, recruiting, job fairs, and human resources. A lot of employers out here, they lack a lot of the necessary resources or knowledge. I know that from my experience working in the employment and training field. So we have a system with that.
Chet, just a question. Are you in slide 3?
Slide 3? Yes.
Because in here we cannot see it. We can just see the first one. You need to share. You need to share the presentation itself, not the PowerPoint.
Okay. Let me see.
Or you can just move on the PowerPoint itself.
Let's see. Screen share.
Share the presentation. The presentation, not the PowerPoint.
Presentation. Okay, I get a tired screen. So let me try that. Let's see if you can see with this one. Let me know if you can see it now.
Just start the presentation. Okay, yeah. Now we've got the presentation. So yeah. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Sorry about that. You want me to start over or leave off where I start where I left off there?
No, I think you can go to the next slide where you have the if you have something else to add to these points. And this slide is more important because you have the overview of the things that you do for the clients. So.
Okay, so I can start back off from right here. So MetPlus Services Overview. Job seekers will provide vocational training, workforce readiness, workforce assessment, job development, job placement, resume and CV workshops, workforce certifications, career counseling, and human services. For the employers, we provide applicant pre-screening, applicant tracking, employer development, recruiting, job fairs, and human resources. Now, you guys see the next slide now? Now, this is the, you do see it? Okay. Now, this is the PET system, Public Employment Tracking System. The purpose of the PET software is to be able to track a portion of the life cycle of applicants that are seeking employment, sent to an employer, hired, or rejected by an employer. This automated signaling system will make the tracking information, retention, and communication between employers, job developers, job seekers, and the government that will enable one to track applicants seamlessly and provide statistical information to all. There are several ways to track applicants. So, if a job seeker is applying through an agency, this is a brief overview. A job seeker will send their resume to a case manager. Case manager uploads the resume to the resume sorter. The job developer receives the resume and sends it to the employer through the PET system. Employer receives the resume through PETs and evaluates it. Job seeker is then contacted by employer through PETs. Job developer tracks job seeker through PETs for employment status. So basically, you know, the job seeker wants to know with the job developer, and the agency wants to know that they're doing a job. You know, you can always send somebody for employment, but you really don't know what's going on. Sometimes the job seeker gets busy, the agency gets busy, the employer gets busy. So this is the purpose for the system. Now, for job seekers applying through the job fair from an agency, you can send, say, 200 applicants to a job fair. It's kind of hard to track all of them. You know, did they really go? How did it work out? Things of that nature. So the job seeker submits resume to employer through the PET's website. So basically, it walks up to the table and provides them with a pen, and their resume will come up. Employer PET's receiver retrieves the job seeker's resume. The filter will help determine if the resume is acceptable or not for the employer. So either accepted or rejected. If the job seeker resume is accepted, a signal will be sent back to the job developer's PETs and will input the applicant in the processing pool, which is yellow on the traffic light icon. The job developer will then communicate with the employer to advocate on the behalf of the job seeker. If the job is accepted, the traffic icon interface will turn green. So basically, if the employer hires the job seeker, it turns green in the applicant pool. If the applicant is rejected, the interface will turn red, thus inputting the applicant status in the rejection pool. So we have no. And they can put notes in there why they were rejected, why they didn't fit the employment, things of that nature, or if they found another job seeker. For all applicants hired, it will appear on all applicable party status pool interface. So basically, who's ever connected within the system will know if they was hired or not, from the government to the job developer to the job seeker, if they have access to this. So employers uploading jobs to PET's agency. So employers are also going to have access to upload jobs, which makes it a little easier for job developers, so they won't have to do all the work. So employers can just say, hey, I got 10 jobs, I can upload it real quick through the cloud system. Employers are able to log on to the PET's website and upload jobs. The job post will be timed, basically, because you don't want jobs from 2 months ago that's already expired, or somebody pretty much became employed, or mostly expired, because if they're employed when their job position is taken, then it'll automatically close. The job post will include all pertinent info. So all pertinent info, the requirements, qualifications, things of that nature. Non-affiliate job seekers or agencies are able to choose the jobs to apply for. This application monitoring staged by job seeker or developer. For all applicants, the employer will hire appear on their status pool interface is green. And also, you know, it will appear on the job developer and the case manager and the government if we allow that. So pretty much, before I say any questions, PET system was created because a lot of agencies didn't know how to track their work. You know, they really didn't know if they was doing their job right. You know, it's not easy finding someone a job. You know, you advocate, you do all this hard work, just to not hear anything back from the job seeker or the employer or things of that nature. So it will let you know, like, hey, am I doing my job right? What did I do wrong, or what did they do wrong, so I can teach them, I can better help them. And this is a brief overview of the PET system. It's more in detail on the documentation that I sent you guys. So, any questions right now?
Okay, thanks, Chet. During this week, or more or less this week, we got some questions that we had that we can post. I'm not sure if Patrick, do you want to lead this with the questions, or do you want me to take it on?
Well, we can start out with the two questions that I posted.
Yeah.
And then take it from there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me share here. Can you guys see the waffle screen, or is it is it a mess? Okay, you can see that. Okay.
Yeah, just open the issue to see if we can see it.
So you can see issue number 46 there. Okay.
Issue number 46.
Yes. Wow.
It's a little blurry.
That loud.
A little blurry, huh?
Can you increase the letters or something?
I wonder if I can just share.
That looks pretty good.
Looks okay. Okay. Well, why don't we go through this now? So there's a lot of questions about this, but there are a couple that came up in reading the the system description, Chet, that you put together. System descriptions, I should say.
Okay.
Two of the most specific ones, or immediate ones for me, were these two. I'll start with this 46. So there's this text in your system description number 1 relating to job developers. I'll just read it out loud and then we can go through it. Excuse me. It says, if multiple job developers are under the same branch code, are to enter the same employer name in the job cloud area, the system will send a red flag until the job developers speak about the issue and clear the flag. The purpose of this function is to keep the job developers from reaching out to the same employer when the initial goal is to reach out to different employers to get job seekers hired. So my comment on that text, Chet, is this. I don't know if you can read this, but I'll read it again. There seems to be an implicit requirement for 1, preventing multiple job seeker resumes from being sent to the same employer for the same job seeker. 2, coordination among job developers to undo the conflict. And 3, allowing a job developer to clear the issue. And I put here that, you know, the system behavior. So we have to write these things in system rules and code, Chet. So it's unclear what the rules are we'd actually have to put in code to enable this whole coordination and issue resolution among job developers.
Okay.
If you see what I mean.
Yeah. Are you done, or you want me to start?
No, please. That's it. That's the intro.
Just to interrupt, Chat. If you prefer not to answer it right now, if you want to think that any of these questions that we're going to ask now, if you want to think a little bit about it, don't worry. Just we can just pass it over, and then you'll come back to us with, you'll send an email answering the questions or something, and we will share and we will see it. Okay.
Okay, I appreciate that. But yeah, I can answer this. It's pretty simple. All right. My own personal experience is like this. If you have 4 job developers in the same office, basically, and the ultimate goal is to reach out to different employers. So meaning as you guys all heard about Walmart, correct? So you don't want 4 job developers to reach out to the same Walmart with the same address. So the goal is to reach out to several different Walmarts. We don't want to go to the same employer. See, from my experience, employers want to deal with, they like to have a relationship with one job developer or business service rep because sometimes they get comfortable with them. They like the way how they, interact and things like that. So that's the goal. We don't want to reach out to the same store. We want to reach out to multiple stores. It can be multiple Walmarts, not just the same one, because that's kind of being lazy. You know what I mean? You want to be proactive. You want to actually expand your region. That's what you want to do. Now, as far as sending multiple resumes to the employer, that's no problem. That's the point. So it can be 100 resumes sent to that one store. We just don't want 100 resumes sent in that same store from multiple job developers. So you can say, hey, if all of us on here are job developers or business service reps, if I have a connection with Walmart, say on House Street or something like that, then you'd be like, hey, if it's a red flag, you say, hey, check. This your employer? I have 100 people, that fit the description of this job right here. Can you submit all these resumes over there to them? Oh, no problem. So that's how we want to do. We don't want to basically step on each other's toes as far as job development. So if I have that connection, that relationship with that Walmart store, we want to just leave that, either leave it with me or I'll leave it with you guys. So there's no problem with multiple resumes going to the same employer. I don't know if that kind of answers it. It may still sound kind of confusing. It's just from my experience, some job developers, they feel like they work so hard to build that relationship. And if another job developer comes in and they don't have the charisma and things like that, then they can break their relationship with that with the agency. So you want to keep that one person relationship with that employer. So I would go to another Walmart or General Motors instead of just doing the same one. It's pretty much how it works, and there was a lot of confusion with that. So this is what made me even write the notes to the filter.
So Chet, does this mean that the system should enforce that there is only one job developer that has a relationship with one employer that's a one-to-one, not a many-to-one? So only one job developer can really interact or send resumes to a single employer. We don't allow a second or a third job developer to send resumes to that same employer. Is that a rule that we should build into the system, for instance?
It's a rule that should be built into the system, but also should be a rule that can be overridden. Simple fact that I have worked in an agency before where there were one job developer working with this employer. The job developer wasn't doing their job. And I reached out to this employer not knowing that was their connection. So they ended up taking a liking to me more, or they said, hey, I need 200 people working at this Henry Ford Hospital. So I need as much help as possible. So I want to, it's really up to the employer, you know what I mean? So they said, hey, I want to work with more than one of you guys because I know recruiting 200 people for me may be time consuming, and I need people now. And, things of that nature. So we're going to say allow one job developer or business service rep to work with the employer, but it can be overridden if agreed upon. So if I do have that Walmart, you reach out to the same Walmart and they're working with you as well, it'll send a red flag. But if it's agreed upon and say, hey, they want to work with both of us, the red flag can be removed. It's pretty much just a signal to let them know they're working with the same employer, and they can work it out amongst themselves between the job developers and the employer. Does that make sense to you guys?
So basically, what you want is like, if there's a job developer, do you want a job developer to be assigned to an employer, or there will be no assignment? But if you
no assignment. It's just that once the job developer inputs the employer information in the system, you already know in the system that job developer did it because somehow their name should be attached to that actual employer. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's possible to attach your name. Okay, so if you put in General Motors, your name, you put in General Motors on this date. you know, and things of that nature. So whatever other information that can attach to it, that's beneficial or
And you mentioned a branch code. You obviously want that also supported.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
What is,
because I might roll. See, even though the PET system can be used with Michigan Employment and Training Plus, I know that a lot of agencies, workforce agencies in Michigan, they don't have a way how to track, not even just Michigan, other states. Excuse me. So if there are different agencies using this software, I want a branch code for each agency. So that's why I wanted a branch code, if that makes sense.
so is a branch code typically just a way to identify a specific agency? It's basically an agency ID. Would that be synonymous?
Yeah, yeah, that would.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's helpful. I think, Chet, what we're going to have to do on these kinds of things is think about what you're telling us and then maybe come back with a proposed set of specific rules that we can build into the system and see if they're consistent with what you're thinking about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and look, I'm always open to suggestions. My mind is going like a million miles an hour because I'm doing so much from fundraising to other things, from the videographer, 3D animators, and everything. So, yeah, definitely, if you have any suggestions, please let me know.
Yeah, because these are tough things. These are interesting concepts, but it's hard to get the rules right because in the world that we live in, we can just pick up a phone and call the other job developer who has a conflict and say, "Hey, John, what's going on with this Walmart store over here? I'm repping against my job seekers, etc." And you work it out. With a system, you got to put rules in there, and if they're not the right rules and they're not flexible enough,
Okay.
it could be really hell on earth, you know?
Yes, yes, I definitely understand.
Yeah. Um, so another question we had, Chet, is this, number 47. I don't know if you can read that. I'll read the words and then maybe you can talk to it. So in one of your job descriptions, you have this. If the employers are linked to a work agency, they are able to post a job to the agency cloud server, which will notify the job developer of the new positions. So the employer is linked to a work agency, and the employer posts a job to basically the agency area in our system. And then that notifies the job developer of the new position being posted by the employer. So there's three actors here, right? There's the employer, the agency, and the job developer so far. So what my comment on that is this: we need to clarify what it means for an employer to be, quote, linked to, unquote, a jobs agency. And what are the constraints imposed in the system by that relationship? For instance, if an employer has such a relationship, does this mean that the employer cannot post a job to the site directly, but always have to have the agency post their jobs? That's one question of a number of questions that arise from this statement, Chet.
Okay.
So can you kind of add some color to this, or maybe clarify it a bit for us?
Well, I guess we can kind of, if they post it to that agency, we're gonna say an agency can be more of a region. If they just post it to the PET's website, I guess that's pretty broad in every agency in Michigan. You know, Michigan is pretty big, like any other state. So that agency will pretty much just be a region because you want job seekers to. A lot of people don't want to work that far from their home. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
if that make any sense? So yeah, that's why I said they can post it to their employer, that agency, and if they're just a broad job and if they think somebody would travel 100 miles, 50 miles, or something like that, then they can just post it to the actual website. Um, I guess that makes sense right there. Does that help clarify anything? Are you still kind of lost with this?
Well, we're still, at least I am, pretty lost with this because, you know, typically an employer may accept resumes from an agency, and typically, maybe you're talking about nonprofit agencies here, but in the commercial world, of course, an agency representing a job seeker expects to be paid if the employer hires the job seeker.
No, no, no. It's nothing like that. These are all
Okay.
nonprofits. Nobody's being paid. Um, agency. I just use that. I just use that term pretty much. So there's no monetary money's being traded, swapped out.
So
Okay.
there will be no
Okay.
difference between the employer and the agency posting the job, because what we thought about, and let's imagine that a third party is an agency A for an employer. If the agency A posts the job, but the employer has a connection that is a paid connection with that agency, the employer should not be allowed to post as well a job there. That was our major issue.
You said they shouldn't get a job there.
Yeah, Chet, so in one part of your system description, you say employers can post jobs directly to our system. And
Yes.
in this particular paragraph, you're saying if the employer is actually linked to an agency, then it seems like the agency will take that job and post it on behalf of the employer.
Yes. So let me see. There's an employer can post a job. Yes, they can post it. So meaning as they can take it and print it out and post it if it's in their classroom because it's directly for that region or something. That's this one.
Can I suggest, Chet, that maybe what we could say is that if the employer wants to post a job to the site, they can do that.
Yeah.
And if the employer is actually linked somehow or has a relationship with an agency, that the agency gets alerted that the employer has posted a new job.
But yeah,
And then
that's,
the agency just works with their job developers to work that job, that opportunity.
that makes sense.
Okay. I think that would work out well. The employer's not encumbered, they can post their job, but if they've established in our system a relationship with, I guess an employer can be associated with more than one agency, right?
That's correct.
There's no limit? Okay. Then those agencies get alerted that the employer's posted a new job, and they do their thing, whatever
Correct.
that might be. Yep. Okay, that helps. All right, I think that clarifies that statement, at least for me. I don't know if I can write this up, but Joe, Yuad, back to you then. I think those covered the two principal questions I had so far.
Okay. So does anyone have any more question about the PET system that want to share? Nope. Okay. So I'll just move on and try to give a little more or less the idea of the architecture that we're currently building on, and then we'll just have some questions, if that's okay with you. If after this you have any more question, just send an email or just let's talk. Leave the questions on Slack, and I can wrap them up and send them to chat, and we'll see what we can do with it. Okay. So let me share my screen now.
Does Chet have to remain here for this, or
Sorry.
should Chet remain here for this?
If chat wants to remain, I can remain. We're going to go a little bit more specific. So if you want to stay with us, you can stay with us. And if you have something good, we're always welcoming input. Okay. Okay. So let me just move on to the right. Okay. So there's already a page on the Agile Ventures website that has more or less the information and more technical information. I'm going to pass it more or less around. In a more overview of the solution will be split into two different applications. Let's call it like that. One will be the interface that will contain all the business rules, that will contain all the information in the user interface, and another one that will take care only of the database. The resumes. So basically, this in this system, what will happen is a user creates one account, and that account they will fill all their information, and after filling all their information, they will also add their resume. The web application will get all the information and pick the resume and send the resume to the second application, and the second application will store the database, store it in a database, the resume, will process the resume and retrieve all the information that we think it's important from there, and we'll store it there. Also, when we will have some other functionalities that will allow the job developer to find a pool of job seekers that can match a specific job. To do that, it will call this other service to saying, okay, this is the parameters that I have for this job. So tell me a group of users, a group of job seekers that match more or less this job opportunity. So this is more or less how it will work. These two systems. These systems will be built. The web application will be a Ruby on Rails with a Postgres database, and the other service part will run with Java and MongoDB as a backend. And to do the rest, this will be a normal REST service, and this will be supported with Spring as a framework for it. So basically, this is more or less the structure that we currently have. This is quite a different project from all the Agile Ventures projects, because all the Agile Venture projects are based on Ruby on Rails and just Ruby on Rails, and this one had something else to the match. That's basically this Java service that will be a new thing. So there's also a possibility that currently the website, we already started developing some parts of the application, and there was something that I'd like to implement, but at this point we did not start with that, and I'm not sure if now it would be a good moment to move on with it or not. It would be interesting to have an AngularJS front-end, but I'm not sure if that's not getting too much on our plate with all this setup, or if we can just skip it for now and just move forward. Then in a later release, we can just try to change our interface into AngularJS. So as I said, the cruncher part will be Java. Will be a RESTful. We'll have a RESTful API. We will have all the communication with HTTPS Despite the services, they will be running, I believe, if not in the same machine, they will be running in a closed system, but we will just communicate with HTTPS to ensure a layer of security as well, because it's the resumes of the job seekers that will be passing through. And basically, in terms of structure, in terms of product, would be something like this. So, in terms of tools that we are going to use for development, we currently already have two GitHub repositories. One that is, they are both under the Agile Ventures organization. One is the PET system, the MetPlus PETs, that basically it's the website part. And there's also the MetPlus Resume Cruncher, that will be the service that will handle the resumes. Currently, I've been talking yesterday with Patrick and Michael, and maybe this will change, but we will see. For now, we are using as an issue tracker, and we will try to use it for our Scrum. We'll try to use Waffle, and there's also there the link for Waffle. And currently all the tasks that we have. And both of the repositories they have the Travis file, and they are being sent to Travis to do all the testing. So this is already all set up. At this moment, we will have a testing server that currently is set up, but it's not working. It's not working. It has an error that I was not able to look into. That's you can see it there. There's a link. We are going to use OpenShift for this. We're going to give it a try. They offer 3 free wheels, so basically 3 services online that can be up and running. So currently we only have the web application running, and it's not the latest version there. And basically, this is what we have at this point. This is more or less how the things are being set up to be developed. Now I'm going to open this a little bit for some questions. If you have some questions now, if you want to know something more, if you want to understand why the decisions that we did, just shoot it out. So, no questions?
Hey, I just want to comment on the previous statement you said about all the other Agile Ventures projects are based on Rails. We just finished up a small project, which involved a Rails backend, but it spoke through an API to Angular-based front end, entirely Angular-based. So there is precedence for doing other things like that in AV, but also I'd recommend staying with the architecture you've already scoped out, because I think adding Angular to this stack, we'd have a lot of different technologies to worry about. As it is, it's relatively complex.
Yep, I agree with you. It was just something that I thought that would be interesting in terms of, I don't know, in terms of new technologies. But yeah, I agree with you that at this point we already have a lot on our plate.
Yeah, there's always a balance between learning opportunities of new technologies and a sustainable technology architecture. Is that? I think you did a good job in creating a good architecture here.
Thank you. Any more questions, comments? No? Okay then. Basically, I think this concludes our first meeting. Chat. I believe I'm still not sure, but how we are going to play this. But I believe we'll have meetings every 2 weeks with you, where we'll present everything that's new that we did. I'm not quite sure at this moment when will we have the meetings, if Saturday morning or if we can do Friday afternoon. I don't know, but I will try to understand. I'll try to set up some meeting, maybe Monday, to give the first kick on a Scrum, to take a look into the tasks that the tasks that we already have, to add new tasks if you think that there's something that we missed in the first approach to the problem. And I believe maybe in 2 weeks we can have the first our second client meeting, where we can just show you some more things that we've been working on, and you can give us your input. Are you okay with it, Chet?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So, does anyone want to add anything else to the? Does anyone else want to add anything to the meeting? No. Another thing, I haven't yet talked with Sam, but I think I will try to hijack the Pacific Rim for MetPlus. So I hope that we can start having again the Pacific Rim scrums, maybe a little bit earlier, because currently it's at 10 UTC. I'll try to push it up to 9:30. I will have to check my availability, but I'll try to push it up. Our scrums there. I'm going to talk to Sam about it, because I heard there's also some complaints about the people in the US that they don't have a scrum in their time. Well, that's a more interesting time, so I hope this will be time for them. Anything else?
So if you do hijack the scrums, when would that be from?
Sorry?
If you do take the Pacific Scrum, when would that be from? Do you know?
I'll try to hijack it Monday. I'll try to get the first Scrum running Monday, to try to get as we're still fresh with the presentation and everything, try to run all the tasks there in a quick way, to see if we missed something, if we can add something, and basically that's it. So I believe this week I'll try to talk to Sam this weekend, or maybe Monday morning, and talk to him and ask him if we can just get that Scrum running, and if so, we'll start. If you guys enter in the MetPlus Slack channel, I will, or if you're already there, I'll tell you that if we are going to start doing the Scrums there or not. It's okay for you, Sasha, or is it too late?
Sorry, say that again.
Is it too late for you?
What time was it, sir?
It's. I was thinking about 9 p.m. UTC.
Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking 9:30. Not sure, but we will see. Any question, comment, anything? Nope. So, thank you very much for coming to our first client meeting with MetPlus. I hope to see you next week in our scrums, and have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Joe. You too.
Thank you all. Thanks, Chet.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take care.